Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about the invisible Black woman. I'm Lady Bounce.
I'm Kryptonite, y'all.
All right, so where you want to go with this?
Okay, here we go. First, let's start off with, I'm going to read this passage and then I'm going to expand on it a little bit as to my purpose of reading it, okay, and how it pertains to today's subject. Okay, so here we go. Live your senses. As I grew up, everything started getting gray and dull. I could still remember the amazing intensity of the world I lived in as a child, but I thought the dulling of perception was an inevitable consequence of age, just as the lens of the eye is bound gradually to dim. I didn't understand that clarity is in the mind. My toddler daughter has a pair of pink rain boots that are her favorite shoes. The pink rain boots give her puddle stomping power, which brings her utter glee. Does she care that she is getting covered in mud from head to toe? No, she doesn't. Does she care that the water is going over the edge of the boots and soaking her feet? No, she doesn't. She takes off her shirt and struts around bare-chested with her brothers. She loves the dirt, the puddles, the rain, and the sky. Maybe those pink boots really are magical. If only we adults could have 1/10 of this joy and enthusiasm. We look at things, glance at things all the time, but do we really pay attention? Do we really live in our surroundings, or do we just exist in them? In order to clean the mirror of the mind, we must first renounce the senses. But we cannot renounce the senses if we have not ever really engaged them in the first place. This evening, practice living fully into the senses, and then you will be prepared to enter the interior silence. Notice how that time in dark, silent contemplation actually sharpens and heightens the vividness of perception. Now, I'm reading that, and that is kind of the lighter side of what we're talking about today, because I want to talk about living in the senses as far as observing your surroundings and being acutely aware of what's wrong and being acutely aware of how you feel in that moment and sensing that something is wrong, because you don't always see it to know that it's not right. Sometimes something being wrong is not so much what you see as it is so much of what you feel.
Sounds like your spidey senses.
Kind of like your spidey senses, like that sixth sense that might be going off that we far too often do not pay attention to and wish we would have if we were, if we were in the right frame of mind at the time. And to be quite honest with you, and I feel like there are times when the Lord speaks to us. Okay. And I believe that sixth sense sometimes is exactly what that is. It's the Lord saying, hey, stop it.
God's trying to tell you something.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, though, I think that, when we talk to ourselves, I feel like that's us having a conversation with God, especially when you talking to yourself and you keeping it really 100 with yourself.
Right.
I really do believe that's the Lord saying, you messing up.
Right.
And you
calling yourself
I know you messing up.
Right. I can feel it.
And I can't let you hear my voice because only angels can hear my voice and survive. So I got to talk to you in a voice that's calming to you. So it might as well be your own. Unless it's your grandma. But I'm just saying.
Right.
So now, having said that, our topic of discussion today is really a combination of two things. Okay. We are talking about the invisible Black woman on two separate stages. One being in the medical field and the other being in society. Okay. So there was recently an article that has been floating around Facebook, and should we pull it up? We don't need to call names or nothing. That's not necessary.
No, because the story went so viral. It's
everywhere. Everybody has heard about it. The young lady that passed away was 25 years old. She went to a hospital. I believe it was in Wisconsin.
I think so.
I believe it was in Wisconsin. She went to a hospital that is that really has a good reputation from what I understand. She went there. I believe it was said that her sister drove her there in the beginning, and she was dismissed. She was complaining of chest pains, and she was made to sit in the waiting area for about 5 or 6 hours. Yes. Then she decided to seek medical attention elsewhere, and I believe on her route to going elsewhere, she collapsed, was taken back to the hospital she had just left, and then died.
Yes.
So there have been many studies that have shown that as far as the medical profession is concerned, Black people, but Black women in general, are ignored and not taken seriously or considered to be what's the word that I'm looking for?
Worthy of care?
Hypochondriacs.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say. Yes. So now what I can't understand is when you have multiple studies that show this as being a statistic,
right?
What are we doing to change it, and why is it not being changed? And then also, it's common knowledge that anywhere you go, when you complain of chest pains, you are automatically taken to the ER, taken to the back, hooked up.
Yeah, taking the triage, as they call it.
Right. I mean, yes, sometimes the ball gets dropped.
Right.
True enough, but 5 or 6 hours, though.
Yeah, and I wonder, and I know hospitals are busy places, and sick people come in like through the emergency room door, and you may not see them coming through emergency, but 5 hours seems excessive to have anybody waiting for anything. Like, it ain't. I mean, it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's not like it's Chicago where somebody's getting shot every 2 seconds. Your hospital's not that busy that she sat there for 6 hours coughing and holding her chest, and y'all just like, oh, well, keep waiting. I'm like, how did that happen? Where are the nurses? Where are,
someone to say,
somebody, hey, by the way,
she's complaining of chest pains.
Exactly.
And I'm more than positive. And then that's another thing too, because I read like a lot of people seem to overlook that that she had been waiting that long and almost victim blamed. Like, why would you sit there for that long? Why didn't you go someplace sooner? You should have said something. You should have did something.
Depending on her mind state and the level of pain she was in, she may not have been physically able to leave after an hour and go somewhere else.
Not just that, but because we are conditioned that Black women are mad all the time. A lot of us consciously make the effort not to be that Black chick.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Then you think about, okay, the first time I make a fuss about something, the first time I say I'm unhappy or I try to get attention,
right?
Do you call security on me because you feel like I'm being unruly or I'm being a certain way? Now I'm scared. Are you going to call the police? Then I'm not going to get the attention I seek anyway. And on top of that, I'm being handled and handcuffed and thrown out. You know what I mean?
Like the other woman in New York that happened to, where she was same situation, waiting in the waiting room of the ER to be seen. She kept going up to the counter. Hey, I'm in pain. I'm not feeling well. I need to be seen. And they consider her unruly, called security, called the police. And in their attempts to get her in handcuffs, she has a heart attack and she dies.
Wow.
But she was doing what anybody would do in that situation. I need help. Help me. But instead of them helping her, they considered her a threat, unruly, and did all of these things, which ultimately caused her death.
Right. And it's so crazy. You hear about people saying, oh, that the color of our skin is a weapon. The darker you are, the more dangerous you are.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely ludicrous. And then, I mean, for it to not just be for it to be an issue, not just in law enforcement, but everywhere across the board. It doesn't matter where you are, grocery store, gas station, hospital. Your complexion is a weapon. The darker you are, the more dangerous you are.
Yeah.
And then you can't be a person in distress. You're just an angry black person who needs to be controlled.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, and you can even see it in terms of, which we see it right now really, really playing out with the opioid epidemic. Oh,
yeah, it's a disease
people
now.
Need treatment. This is a disease.
Now it's a disease.
It's a problem. But when it was us,
honey, I saw an article just last night where they was talking about some doctor was found in a cocaine apartment. Think that bitch was in a crack house. What you talking about? A cocaine apartment? What the hell is a cocaine apartment? No, this chick was in the trap house. This bitch was in the crack house smoking rocks. Yes. What do you mean? A cocaine apartment.
A cocaine apartment.
Is that what they call it now in condominiums where everyone does lines?
We moved up in the world.
We don't smoke crack.
No, crack is for them.
No, we sniff lines. This is a cocaine apartment. A crack house is for crack pipes and crack smokers. Yes. We snort it.
Right.
Whatever.
We don't have that filthy cheap crack habits.
We don't do crack. We don't mix
Whitney
our
say,
shit.
Crack is wet. Crack is wet.
We don't mix our stuff with baking powder. We take it straight to the dome. We're in a cocaine apartment. We didn't do crack houses. Okay.
So, but no, seriously, that is how it is seen. That there's
how
somehow
it's worded differently.
That somehow it's different. Like when, and I can't lie, when I doing what I do for a living, I run into a lot of parents who are in the throes of addiction. But when I met the first black parent who was doing meth, my first thought was, we don't do meth. What? What on earth is?
Yes. What do you mean meth? You hang around too many white people, bro.
Right.
You got too many male friends. Too many, because you can't be doing everything they do.
We don't do meth. But he was heavily addicted, and then got his wife addicted, and it was like a crazy thing. And I was like, and then I thought to myself, quit thinking like that. Drugs are drugs. Drugs are bad, no matter what race you are.
But you only think about that because they've programmed us to think that way.
Exactly.
Just like crack was a black person's problem.
Right. And you go to jail for it.
Crack was black people's problem that we were incarcerated for, that we needed to get our shit together because we was just all the way off the hinges.
Right.
But opioids is the middle class, working class individuals' addiction that is a disease, and they need rehabilitation and help. So jail is not going to help them. They need therapy.
Right. So we didn't need
No, we didn't need no therapy.
Okay.
Forget the fact that our families was destroyed and our grandmothers and uncles and aunties was all jacked up and on
we
that
come
shit.
from trauma.
And it was all in the hood, and it was a bunch of, forget all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not until it's white suburbia where it goes from a criminal issue to a disease.
Social issue.
Yes, it's a disease.
Now it's a social issue. It's a social disease.
And then here's my other issue. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, you want to put all the black dudes that was crack dealers, you want to put them in jail. But these opioid distributors, these doctors that are getting big payoffs from pharmaceutical companies, and these pharmacists that are distributing this stuff, and they're getting big payoffs from pharmaceutical companies and doctors and whatnot, they're not seeing jail time. You're not taking away the license of anybody.
No.
Unless it's something ridiculous.
It was an accident. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, no.
They brought me these drugs and I gave them to my patients.
The only time anybody really is held accountable is when it's ridiculous numbers. Like one doctor had like 3,000 prescriptions filled like within a month.
Right.
For opioids. You know what I'm saying? And then it was a red flag. You know what I'm saying? But they, it's not an issue when you prescribing that stuff though. All right, so back to the issue at hand. So
black women,
yes.
Black women are, by definition, amazing and powerful. There was an article that came out 2 weeks ago that said that we are the most educated group of people in America. So why are we still invisible?
Because we have no power.
How do we get it?
First of all, that's going to be hard.
Okay.
Because there's too many of the other power that's up there that won't let us get there, which was the other thing that I had sent you a video about. But yeah, there are people put in place to make sure that we don't get there. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, as Black women, we are finding ways around that. Because nowadays there's just we think outside the box. Right. And there's other things that we do that we're good at that we're able to make money. So we getting over it because of our intuitiveness, our creativity, and our willingness to work, and our determination to have something. You know what I'm saying? But if we were to follow the protocol and follow the steps, and the powers that be will only let you get so far. That's just flat out how that is. That's just flat out. That's how that is. But the issue here is, how can we become more of, especially when it comes to the medical field, how can we become more of an advocate for our own health without being judged as a threat by the people that are supposed to be helping us? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the discussion earlier that we need to take care of ourselves better. We need to go to the doctor more. We need to do this. We need to do that. Okay. We do that. An emergency situation comes up. We go to a doctor. We go to an emergency room to be seen for whatever, you know what I'm saying? Right. We having chest pain, but we get ignored. Right. So what does it mean if there's a file sitting there that's thick with our complaints and our medical history, but because somebody else feels like we're being hypochondriacs, or because this is what they are taught. They're taught that we have a higher threshold for pain. Yeah, and a higher threshold. They've said this. They thought this back when we were slaves. Oh, well, Black people can take it. They have a higher threshold for pain. Right. They have a higher endurance for going out. We lazy as hell, but we can work from sun up to sundown. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have this higher threshold for pain that they can just do whatever, and we just complain, and we not really hurt. We just complain.
So would some of this problem be remedied if we had more people who looked like us in the medical field?
Most definitely. That's exactly what we need. More people that look like us, because you're not, if you're not looking in the mirror, then you kind of don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are a white physician that is taught, well, Black people have a higher tolerance for pain. Their skin is a little thicker. Right. It's a form of brainwashing. That don't necessarily make you a racist. It just means you believe something that you were told.
That's what, you function in the realm of what you've been taught. And then if you practice in that manner, and then you have that mindset, and
then you have the stereotypes that all Black people are confrontational, that all Black women are mad and angry and upset when we don't have insurance,
so you ain't gonna get paid if you treat them.
Yes, and then there's all of that, that comes along with it. So when you say to someone, hey, I'm really in pain here, I'm really in distress here, I really need some help, but their response to you was not give me just a second, let me get somebody, tell me what's going on. The response is, sit down and wait your turn. You're someone to be with you in a minute. Right. Like, come on, man. That's,
and in a minute, she's dead.
Yeah. Like, what type of mess is that?
I don't know.
And real quick, because we don't have a whole lot of time, and I did want to touch on this subject. Okay. There was a situation where a young lady was abducted on the streets of Philadelphia at night, and her abduction was caught on videotape. Luckily for this young lady, she was found within 72 hours, but she was found in a different state. The guy had switched the license plates on the car. Wow. The only reason they found him was because before he drove off with her in the back seat of his car, she smashed out the back window with a hammer. And so he had a piece of plastic on the window. So they were looking for a car that had plastic up. Right. So the police saw the car, checked it, saw him. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how she was caught. The fact of the matter is, had her abduction not been caught on tape, had she not blasted out that window, had she not dropped her cell phone, they wouldn't have known who she was. Nobody would have been looking for this girl. I mean, flat out.
Right.
Now, this was a post that was on Facebook. What happened was the way she was able to smash out the window was that she found a hammer under the back seat of this man's car. She hit him with the hammer and she drew blood. But instead of continuing to hit him with the hammer, she smashed out the window in the effort to escape. Mm-hmm. Now, I only say this to say that self-preservation should be a priority. Mm-hmm. If you have the opportunity to kill the person that is trying to kill you, please take full advantage of that opportunity and kill that person.
Yes.
And I'm not an advocate for killing, murder, or anything like that. Understand, the last thing I want to do is be the cause of somebody's death.
Right.
That's why I'm not a nurse. I don't want the pressure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But in that case, it's not even murder. It is truly survival and self-defense.
And I think so many people are in a situation where at some point they may get the upper hand and are able to do something, but they don't do enough to secure. And I'm not victim blaming by no means. Right. I'm not saying
but
that.
But it could have ended much worse.
What I'm saying is that we instead of being concerned or conscious about taking a person's life that's trying to hurt you, kill them. Kill them. Yeah, straight kill them. Because quite honestly, I wrote on there that hammer should have met his brain matter, not just the side of his skull. She should have introduced the hammer to his brain matter.
And on the even in like in the justice system, like say he goes to jail, he only gets probation or he only gets 3 or 4 months. Now he's walking the street so he can do this again.
Oh no, that's no. No. Honestly, he's not going to do it again because he's got kidnapping charges. He crossed state lines.
Right.
So that's federal.
So, I mean, he'll be in jail.
No, and not just that. No, there was a 16-year-old that he attempted to kill because he did the same thing to her. He poured bleach on her and then he poured gasoline on her. Wow. And then he went to dig her grave, and that's how she escaped because he was busy trying to dig her grave. Luckily, he hadn't set her on fire yet. He decided to dig the grave first. Thank God, because now she's alive. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went down.
That is crazy.
I recently told my child about different ways that I would like for her to try and protect herself. Mm-hmm. And you can do in self-defense classes and everything and CCWs, and that's cool and all. But seriously, and if you got an old school grandma or whatever, she probably told you about the hat pin in the lapel. And how you had that straight pin and somebody messaged you, pull out that straight pin and you stick them with it?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. Get you a piece of gauze, cut it square. Get you a straight razor, like the same kind that you get like in your Bic, just a razor. Tape that mug up under your breast. Mm-hmm. And then you got, I ain't just saying heard of it. I'm saying do it. Right. Take that mug up under, so that if something happened to you,
you at least you got a weapon all the time.
You got something. You know what I'm saying? You got something because they taking us. And we got to do something. We got to do something to protect ourselves. And I mean, quite honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I want anybody that listens to this to understand that you know what I'm saying? They got these big ass white vans out here that's equipped to take your ass and keep you alive for days in the back of a van.
Yes.
Before they do whatever they gonna do to you. You know what I'm saying? There's a video out there of a van that is equipped like that. Where you can see scratches on the mug. You can't hear nobody screaming when they close the door.
Yeah.
Look, get some razor blades. You got two breasts.
I do.
You need to tape if they big enough, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that off. But I'm just saying. Get you one of them little blades about so big or whatever. Mm-hmm. Put some gauze and then tape that mug up underneath your breast. And if something happened to you, you put that mug so deep in his neck. Make sure you know where that jugular is. And go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. And don't try and take his eye. Don't try and slide. No. Push
right
that.
There.
Look,
right there.
Push that mug in there. Push it in there like you playing with Play-Doh. Stick your thumb all the way in there until you damn near put your thumb through. Look, nothing. Self-preservation is key. If one of us got to go, nigga, it's not gonna be me if I can help it. That's all I'm saying. Look, forget all of that. Oh, I didn't want to hurt him and I love him and I don't want to. No, nigga, if you love me and you put your hands on me, best believe one of us ain't leaving.
I like it.
Man, fuck the world, man. Man, fuck that. I'm cool. I'm sorry, I can't really be saying that stuff but man, no. No, just no. That's all I can say is no. I told my daughter, hey, look, this is what I want you to start doing. No, for real, because she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like she's.
Because of your delivery. But I fully understand.
Listen, because I said, tell your friends. I'm glad you go out. When you go out, you going out with your girls. Y'all make sure y'all stay together. Make sure that y'all don't be so messed up. Y'all know what's going on. Always keep some wit about yourself. Have a good time, right? But you got to be aware too. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And I said, tell your girls to do the same thing. Get you a little razor blade, put a little, so you don't cut yourself, and you get it to get, because if something happens and you get caught up where somebody just snatch you and you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no type of nothing that you can't, because, okay, you can have a CCW, you can have a taser, you can have mace. You still got to get to all of that stuff before you can use it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't care, yes, and that's provided they don't use something to knock your ass out with first, and then take all your stuff. Or just take you and all your stuff that you need to protect yourself is laying on the ground or in your car or wherever it is. Right. Man, take that shit to your person. Right. And be prepared at all times. Hey, people be talking about sticking the razor blade. I'm not sure how you can comfortably do that, but there's chicks that get that off. If you can comfortably do that. Have one in your cheeks. Look, we laughing, but I am dead. Look, I am dead.
Delivery is not the subject,
because I don't even know how to say it. There's no correct way of saying it. There's no PC way of saying it. I'm keeping it all the way 100. If you gotta shave and put something in your cheeks, tape something in your cheeks. So that way, if something go down, you are prepared. Protection. You got something where you can slice somebody, or you can do something to somebody where can't nobody just get that off on you. Even if I die, I'm gonna hurt your ass before you kill me. You gonna be so pissed off. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna be just a thrill killing, nigga. You gonna be mad. It's gonna be one of those. Ooh, it's gonna get personal. Cause I promise I'm trying to live. I promise you. So it's gonna get personal because you're gonna be mad at me.
All right, so we living. Go ahead and give us our self-care assignment for this week.
Besides, who, me? Yeah. Did I have that? Oh, okay, my bad.
Besides taping a razor blade underneath your
Yes, honey, that is the self-care assignment. Go get you some gauze, get you a razor blade, pop open your little razor blade that you using right now to shave everything and take care of everything. Look, pop that joint open, get you a gauze, stick that mug under your breast, tape it, honey. Tape it to you. And when you go out somewhere, you got protection no matter what. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, what am I doing?
Well, I mean, you gave us a self-care assignment. You really
don't
have to read that unless you just want to.
I gave a self-care.
Yeah, I mean, you did.
I gave that self-care assignment. Now, here's the other part for the medical. Here we go.
Okay.
Make an appointment for a physical. The most important indulgences in life is to take care of your body. It is the only one you have, and you must take it for a yearly tune-up to ensure everything is working properly. Many people are nervous about doctors and therefore skip these crucial appointments. However, they should be looked at as you moments. If you are uncomfortable with your doctor, get a new one. You should feel 100% in control and completely comfortable with your doctor. You work hard for those benefits, and it is your right and responsibility to make sure your temple is well taken care of. Now, what I have to say about that is not all doctors will listen to you, because as you know, we have an aunt that has been going through a whole lot these past 10 years, and she has complained to doctors, and she has stated her issues with these doctors, and she has told these doctors many things, but she has had to search on her own to find things that make her comfortable, things that help her situation. Right. She has had to find her own. I gave her a diagnosis of what might be wrong with her, and she said, "You know what? That's it. That's exactly what's wrong with me." Wow. And when I gave her the diagnosis, she read up on it, and she saw the things that she needed to do to make her situation better. Yet she's been seeing different doctors for 10 years, and none of them have come up with a plan that will help her be comfortable, that will help her with her situation. All the doctors that she has talked to has told her what was wrong with her. They didn't listen to her about what was wrong with her. Right. When she told them, "This is my complaint, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's wrong," they didn't take that into consideration. What they said to her was like, "Oh, well, this is what's wrong with you, though." Wow. "Oh, that's what you feeling? Well, this is what's wrong with you, though." Well, none of that has to do with none of this.
Doctors practice medicine, which is weird in itself. But all right, so your brain science real quick to wrap all of this up. You can if you think you can. 4 ways to build your self-efficacy. When you face an obstacle or a setback, do you sit back, throw your hands up, and cease to fight for your goals? Or do you rise to the challenge that has come your way? Are you like the little engine that could, constantly telling yourself, "I think I can, I think I can"? Or do you allow self-doubt to control you? Do you persevere through difficulty, believing that something is better on the other side? Or do you feel like you are incapable of achieving success? Questions like these are central to our understanding of self-efficacy. So here are 4 ways to build your self-efficacy. 1, build one success on top of another. If you've done something that was successful, do something else and be successful. As you continue to build, you go up and you go, "Wait a minute, I got this." Okay? 2, observe the endurance and success of other people. So wherever it is that you're trying to get to, check other people who have done it too and mimic some of their steps. Do what they did to be as successful as you move up the ladder. 3, this is the big one. We talked about this many times on this show. Surround yourself with people who believe you can succeed. When we talked about finding your tribe, finding those good friends that are going to big you up and celebrate you will help you keep building on that success. So in terms of like your health, if you're talking to your friends and they like, "Girl, this is what's wrong with you. This is a doctor that can help you." Listen to those people. They got your back. And last but not least, number 4, work through your own psychological responses. Our responses and reactions to situations are developed largely by unseen psychological processes. Emotional states, stress levels, and moods impact how we view ourselves. So learn how to minimize your stress, not by avoiding the situation or the challenge, but by working through that situation and the challenge. Increase your mood to a positive level, and you can improve your level of self-efficacy.
All right.
And if you ever need help on how to do that, you can always follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Anchor, and email us at flywithusla@gmail.com.
I swear these boxes and bowls, girl.
I'm telling you what, girl.
All shiny and all silky and smooth.
I'm Lady Bounce.
I'm Kryptonite.
And we out.